This is on the Cold Steel GI Tanto. This looks like an older box. I got it off on Amazon. Pretty much they're all the same for the last, I don't know, 8 or 10 years, however long they've been out. It comes with a Secure X sheath, you know, pretty much like all the Cold Steels. It's got a good retention. It snaps in. You know, it's got a good thumb ramp. Plenty of things to lash it to. I mean, it's just for the price point, it's amazing, you know, what they give you. Believe it or not, I didn't know about this knife. There's so many out in the knife world, and especially at the price, it's going to serve, you know, a few different purposes. Just a thrasher. I've already bought 3 of them. I just spent 15 minutes here throwing it. You know, I'm going to park at an old tree, you know, abusing the shit out of it. The scales already came a little loose. I didn't tighten them before I came down here, so you know, they started rattling around a little bit. At about 15 throws, I stuck it good 3 times. I just got to get the timing and the distance. You know, I was throwing it like this with the handle, you know, with the tip forward, and when it did penetrate, it went in, you know, at least to here. Pretty amazing. But what I'm going to do is I got some scale material from a subscriber, you know, very early into my channel. I'm assuming this is my card. He never really said. I don't know if he made this himself or he bought it from one of the knife supply places. But it's different colors and there's different thicknesses. So I'm going to mess with trying to install. You can see that the size is going to be perfect. You know, try making my own scales with the tools that I have. And then eventually I want to get good enough, you know, using, you know, cheap knives like this, where I bought a lot of the Spyderco mules in PD1 and in 20CV, A11, and I think I got a few in the RWL34 that I want to make, you know, some fancy, you know, Kieranite or you know, pine cone, whatever. I'll buy from like Texas Knife Supply or Alpha Knife Supply, you know, and do my own knives, you know, where I've learned on something like this where I don't care if I mess up. I'm also gonna modify a little bit. I'm gonna cut this off here like a lot of people have, and just mess with the tools that I have, you know, to try to customize it. You know, 23 bucks on Knife Center. Blade HQ is 22. I think Amazon was 23. It's 1055 carbon, you know, 4mm stick. It's just a beater. I mean, and there's videos online, a ton of them, of people thrashing on them. I think there's one at Demco putting it in, you know, their little holder and have the rate, you know, they basically go 90 degrees almost without it snapping. It's just amazingly, it's not going to be super hard or very good, you know, it's probably in the 55 Rockwell, somewhere in there, but it's tough. I mean, you could knot this through probably something as big as this if you can get it, you know, and hit it, and it's going to bend without ever breaking. And pretty much unless you go, you know, past 15-20 degrees, which you won't be doing, it's always going to come back true. So I threw it pretty hard. You know, you always overthrow things in the beginning where it bounced and it hit rocks that I have here, and I don't think the tip's bent. You could feel the very, very tip. If I go on this side, I don't feel any burr on this side. Maybe just a very, very, very tip is slightly to the right. It is pretty a fine point, but that's not a big deal at all, especially how hard I've thrown it. This is just an awesome knife. I plan to strip it. Like I said, cut this off. I'm probably going to round this off a little bit and then just work on attaching those scales to it. I don't know if I'm going to use the same or use pins and glue. I'll probably just use these same and countersink it in and just use these same. I don't know if these are Chicago screws inside and barrels. I'll have to see when I take it apart. But this is just a no-nonsense blade that you can have a lot of fun with. You know, I'll show you the this is where it went into the tree. I mean, that's some pretty deep penetration. Amazing. you know, the knife has got that kind of power behind it when you throw it. And I'm not a, you know, expert knife thrower by far, but you know, once you get the distance right and the spin, you know, you can see the dirt on it. It's going in pretty far. It's a lot of fun. So as it is right now, it's pretty comfortable. It's pretty universal. This hollowed out part right here makes it comfortable. You know, your fingers grab it. It's got texture. I think a lot of people are putting bands on it, you know, to give it more grip if they keep the scales when it's slippery. But I just can't say enough about what Cold Steel gives you for 25 bucks. The only thing I can really, I didn't bring it, the only thing I can really compare it to is like the Schrade SCH F10. I got my wife for 24 bucks or 28 bucks. It's a CR13 MOV, and that thing's been, we've beat the, it's 1/4 inch thick though. We've beat that thing through I don't know how many different logs. She's hit it onto the rocks when she's batoning, and it's just keeps laughing everything up. It's a little different knife, but you know, very similar price point. I ended up getting her custom scales for it because we broke the scales beating on the handle. But this GI Tanto, if you don't already know about it, get one. You know, get a few of them. So the Cold Steel GI Tanto with the Secure X sheath, you know, you can't go wrong with it.